Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to some initial reaction to the news that Sergio Perez will be staying with Red Bull for 2022. Now, the team made the announcement this afternoon, an announcement that I don't think will come as too much of a surprise to too many people. It feels like it's been coming for a while now. I'll get onto my reaction in just a moment, but let's get the newsy bit out of the way first. So the team statement was very much what you'd expect from this kind of announcement, but there are a couple of bits worth pulling out of it. First of all, it reads, having taken 4 top 5 finishes over the first 5 races, Checo was quick to demonstrate his experienced racecraft and consistency in scoring regular points before taking his first victory for the team at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Checo has and continues to play a key role in the closely fought Constructors' Championship battle. Christian Horner added to that by saying that Perez is, quote, a highly respected team member and that the way he has integrated into the wider team has been seamless. And Checo himself has obviously said he is happy to be sticking around with the team and added, we have so much more to achieve together and we still have a great challenge on our hands this season, so I really hope we can finish this year on a high and carry that momentum into 2022. I want to thank all my supporters around the world and especially those in Mexico. Now, at time of recording this, there has been no word on AlphaTauri, but I think this pretty much confirms that Gasly and Tsunoda will stay, given that Helmut Marko has now said several times over the last few weeks that Red Bull will be working with the 4 drivers they currently have. But keep an eye out on socials for any more news on that in the coming days and weeks. So it's at least one more year for Checo at Red Bull, the release just saying it's 2022, and to be honest, I think it's probably the right call for the team. As I said in my predictions video last week, I don't think he has been amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but he's been okay and has delivered more than anyone who has sat in that seat since Daniel Ricciardo left, or at least shown the potential to be able to get up to speed in that car. He won in Baku, as the team have said, but even prior to Verstappen's blowout in that race, he was running very well and doing a very good job for the team by fending off Lewis Hamilton. He also made it onto the podium in France, again after playing his part of the team game, and he did very nearly nick that 3rd place from Bottas in Styria despite a fairly late pit stop. He's done okay, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting more from him this season, if that makes sense. Sure, the first few races of the season was always going to be a learning process and it was always going to take time for him to get up to speed in that car. But I honestly thought that he would kick on after that win in Baku and go on a really good run of form. But he had a sloppy weekend at the second race in Austria and he made that mistake during sprint quali at Silverstone which compromised his entire weekend. Or at least the rest of his weekend. A weekend where, as it turned out, Red Bull needed him to be taking points away from Mercedes, the job of a second driver when the number 1 driver doesn't finish. Obviously, he wasn't to know in sprint qualifying that was going to happen, but the team need him to be there to pick up the pieces when Verstappen doesn't make it to the end. And obviously, when it comes to Hungary, that DNF was not his fault, so we'll never really know what could have been done there. I guess what I'm saying is that I do tend to agree with the decision to keep him on for another year, as, again, I think he's showing more promise in getting to grips with that car than others have, and I still think out of all of the currently available drivers, he's probably the best option for the team. They don't seem to be overly keen on bringing Gasly back. I'm not convinced they're interested in Bottas. And so aside from poaching Russell from Mercedes, I don't really see who else there is to take that seat. There seems to be a good relationship as well between Verstappen and Perez, which will suit the team down to the ground. But we do need to see more from Checo in the second half of the season. He's got to hit a run of consistent form. He's got to iron out those sloppy weekends we've seen at times this year. And he needs to close that gap to his teammate. I'm not saying he should match him for pace, not for 1 second, but he must start to get closer. And hopefully now his immediate future is sorted, he will be able to focus on delivering consistently. And it's kind of nice to see some continuity at Red Bull next year as well. Again, as I said in my predictions last week, there comes a point where you've got to stop chucking drivers in that seat and then sacking them half a year or a year and a half later and get behind someone and give them the chance to improve and to grow. And honestly, it's an obvious line, but if he can do that, he's going to play a pivotal role in helping Verstappen in that fight for the championship. And of course, helping the team in the battle with Mercedes in the Constructors. And super quickly, I suppose, whilst we're talking about 2022, and just in case you missed it earlier this week, Alpine has officially confirmed that Fernando Alonso will partner Esteban Ocon at the team next season. I'll be honest, I already thought this one was done and dusted, and even said as much in my predictions, but turns out it hadn't been formally announced, although all the talk from the team was that he was staying. But anyway, I think that was a good call from Alpine, by the way. He's done well this season, has Fernando, and the relationship between him and Ocon seems to be very strong. And as I've said before, I think they've got a really good lineup going into the new regulations, so definitely keep an eye on them next year. I guess then, with another couple of seats tied down, Mercedes, it's over to you. That is it for this quick news reaction video though, but you can let me know your thoughts on Red Bull's decision to keep Perez for another year in the comment section down below. Now, I will be back on Sunday with Dan for some immediate reaction to the Belgian Grand Prix, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like, as it really does help to give the channel a little boost. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.